So as I might have mentioned, I'm getting my PhD and I'm studying medieval theology and just doing some pretty heavy reading in this series here by Professor McGinn. This is some of the best reading outside the Bible I've ever done in my life. But anyway, just ran into this part here talking about Origen, the theologian Origen, early Greek Christian theologian. It's talking about, they're trying to explain the fall, and McGinn's saying some of these early Platonists like Origen, having trouble describing how the fall happened. They're trying to use free will and stuff. Like so many of these issues, there's all these problems all over the place. People don't know how to explain all this stuff. They come up with non-biblical principles to describe them. This is another one. But if you just follow the scripture for exactly what it says, there's no issue. It's because it's right in here. The reason the fall happened is because God did it. It says it right here. Here's Acts. This is Acts 4, 26, 28. The kings of the earth stood up, and the rulers were gathered together against the Lord and against his Christ. So I think that's about the Illuminati right there, personally. That repeats in other places in the Bible. For of a truth against thy holy child Jesus, whom thou hast anointed, Herod and Pontius Pilate, with the Gentiles and the people of Israel gathered together, for to do whatsoever thy hand, the Lord's hand, and thy counsel determined before to be done. Wow. Now this there's actually even more. If we go back 2 chapters to Acts 2:23, this is even more revealing. So Acts 2:23 here. So him being delivered by the determinate counsel, look at that, the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of God, ye have taken and by wicked hands have crucified and slain. So God did it. Of course he did it. He's in control of everything. And why he did it, that's best explained in my new book, Hyper Calvinist Universal Salvation. Late in the book, that chapter I have on why there's pain and evil and stuff, that I think that's got the first explanation of how there can be a truly omnipotent God, that's the hyper Calvinist position, and not create sin. Simple explanation right in scripture, which I've explained on YouTube before, and it's in my book. So of course God did. He had to. We were created corrupted, 1 Corinthians 15:42. We had to be created corrupted because God's the only non-corrupt. So anything he creates is corrupted because it's not him. He creates something different than himself, so it's going to be different than him. So it says it right here. That's why there's a fall, because God did. He had to get the whole thing going. We were in corruption. We had sin. It all had to happen. All the sin and misery and pain, because it's the only way God can create a reality, create a corrupted reality. And he, I think, wanted to get things moving. That's why he put the tree in the garden. He wanted to get things moving so he could save the world, save everyone, restore all things, Acts 3:21. This is perfect logic, purest logic. This is the flawless logic of reality, the one logic that describes all things that people are searching for. All the university professors and so forth, it's right here. It's in scripture. It's in the Holy Bible, the King James Bible. So the good news is that God saves us all. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess. Romans 14:11, right here. 10. But why dost thou judge thy brother, or why dost thou set at naught thy brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ. Wow, look at that. It's funny how the Bible's so clear, don't judge. That's all I see people doing, Christian, non-Christian alike. It brings such unbelievable misery. Why can't we just feel the joy of knowing that all people are better than ourselves? Philippians 2:3. So anyway, for as it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God. In my book, I discuss this, and I go through the verses that say if your tongue confesses God, it means you're saved. So this is purest universalism right here. What a verse! Look, it's future. Shall confess. Every knee shall bow. That's because it happens at the eschaton. Today we live in a hyper-Calvinist reality, but soon we will live in the omni-salvation of Christ. Even those people you hate with unbelievable passion, the Hitlers, the George Bushes, anybody you hate, they'll all be with you in the afterlife with a new body. And we all won't remember this time because we'll be overtaken by the power and light of God in the kingdom of light, which has no night. All of those points are verses. But typically, my experience is my average church-going friend has no idea about the end times because the churches simply don't discuss it. And people actually think they can have an accurate view of Scripture when they ignore a third of the Bible, all the prophecy parts. They ignore the biggest topic in the Bible, which is the eschaton.